What's up, YouTubers? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's doing well out there. For today's video, we're doing a more in-depth look at my Fender Pro amp and how we can sort of unlock the Tweed tone. So let's go. Cool, so right here is my 1957 Fender Pro amp that I've had for about a month now. And in that month, I've made some really great discoveries that have helped me unlock the Tweed sound. So in today's video, I want to talk about those discoveries. So here's our bass tone. Volume at 5, EQ at 5, and presence at 3. Check it out. That's a good starting tone, but it can sound better, I think. Let's swap out the V1 tube, which is a 12AY7, for a 12AX7. Check this out. So I swapped out the 12AY7 and V1 for a 12AX7. And now we're getting closer to the edge of breakup territory, right? Remember, the AY7 has a gain factor of 45, and the 12AX7 has a gain factor of about 100. So we're pushing the amp a bit more. And overall, the amp just seems much more alive now. Check this out. Now, to my ears, and I think it's pretty obvious, with the 12AX7, we're adding much more treble content, right? Check this out on the bridge pickup. We can smooth that out. Lower the tone to about 6. That sounds really good. When it comes to the Tweed amps, or the Pro, let's say, one thing I didn't know until recently was the more treble you add, the more gain you add, right? High end and a bit more overdrive, which is really cool. But, you know, at that point, you sort of have to work in conjunction as if this is one whole instrument. So as this gets brighter, you can lower the tone on your guitar to sort of smooth everything out, right? So all of that was with treble at 5. Let's raise the treble to about 7 and keep the tone at 10 on the guitar. See, for me, that's a bit too ice-picky. Lower the tone to about 6. That's a way better tone. So you're getting the overdrive, but maintaining a smooth top end. Let's raise the treble to about 9. And finally, let's put the treble all the way up. And that's with volume on 10, tone on 6. If we put the tone on 10, you'll see how much brightness we really have. So we have a lot of brightness on tap. If we go to the middle position, everything on 10 kind of puts me in the headspace of Kid Charlemagne. Kind of in that headspace. In the mix, I'm sure that would fit in really well, but in the room, that's really, really bright. The next thing I discovered was the beauty of jumpering the channels. When I first got this amp at the OC Guitar Show, I went to my buddy Taylor's booth, and he was there with Drew Berlin of Burst Brothers fame. And the first thing he told me was, great pickup, jump the channels. So let's do that right now. So channels are jumped. I'm using a bit longer than required patch cable. Both volumes are on 5. Check it out. That's a really great tone. A really good bass tone, in my opinion. The only thing I would do differently is maybe raise these two volumes to about 7. Get a bit more push of the amp naturally. Sounds killer. And the reason I'm playing the same phrasing in every clip is so you can hear the progression of the tone naturally, right? Same phrasing and the tone changes in every scene. The next thing I want to do is sort of preach that it's okay to have this volume at around 5, all EQ at 5, have our bass tone, right? And as opposed to pushing the amp into further natural overdrive, use a pedal to sort of make a different scene, right? Almost like pushing the amp, but with the pedal, it's a smoother top end and a bit more creamier overdrive as opposed to a bit more raspy. So let's do that. So I got the Nobels ODR1 plugged in, and remember, more of a scene change, right? So here's our bass tone. ODR1, everything on 4, volume on 5. I'm adding a bit overdrive, a bit more cushion on the top end, and obviously a bit of a volume jump. Again, it's like going from scene A to scene B. They're very similar tones. I'm thinking this is more an extension of our bass tone, right? And that's all I want. I don't want it to sound like I'm going to a completely different rig or I'm adding so much more gain. Extension of this, right? With the Nobles, it kind of puts me in an Eric Clapton type of frame of mind, right? Again, it's just a really good combination, right? It's not a completely different sound, but more of an extension. Now, on to the final thing I would do to this amp that I haven't done yet, which will simulate in the aux, is a speaker change. The Jensen 15 sounds really good. The top end is a bit too spiky for my liking. There comes Celestion. Right? I love Celestion speakers. I have it in my Deluxe Reverb, in my Carry Right 1x12, and ultimately soon I'll have a Celestion speaker in this, a 12-inch rather than a 15-inch. So let's use the aux to simulate that and see how it sounds. So with the magic of the aux, I switched speakers from a Jensen to a Celestion, and the difference is so noticeable, right? Here's the bass tone. Add in the nobles. Sounds really good. Sounds, I mean, a Celestion speaker and a Fender is a match made in heaven. Well, all right, guys, that is today's video, unlocking the Tweed tone. If you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.